Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Jenny G, the healer here. Um, I have a special message for y'all today. Okay, thank you for your continued support as I continue to share my voice, share love, share light with y'all. And, you continue to bless me in return with your engagement, with your positive vibes, and with your good energy. So, this particular message is one of inspiration, one of motivation, and the message came through to me very, very clearly. It's interesting because my clairaudience was on 10. Like the words that were coming through to me, it was like I was having a two-way conversation directly with spirit because they were so clear and they were just coming, coming, coming. So I had to write this stuff down. Like I've just gotten in the habit of taking notes because, sometimes so much just comes through at one time. I also pulled some affirmation oracle cards because I love affirmations and they complement this message very well. So this message is for a couple of different people. As I always say, please take what resonates with you. Please do not try to force things to fit. If they simply don't speak to your soul, that's my whole vibe. That's my purpose. My words, my expression, the messages I share, I want them to speak to your soul. Okay. If you, if it ain't speaking to your soul, then it's probably not for you. Okay. If it's not resonating, please don't force it to fit. The next message may be for you, and this may not be for you. All right. So I'm going to start with that. Now, I'm going to share the words that Spirit gave to me, but this is in relation to some of you in the collective have recently just gone through a spiritual activation of some kind. Like you've been activated on a spiritual level, a greater, a heightened, you're essentially being elevated to a higher frequency. And my ring lights are out, so the lighting may be a little off, but 222 on the clock just passed. I noticed that. So some of you may not even understand or know what's going on, but you have elevated and you have ascended to a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And so as I explained in some of my other channels, this is happening at a rapid pace. There's a mass spiritual awakening. And for some people, that ascension is happening very, very weird, like fast. And it feels weird because it makes you feel disoriented. Now, as a result of this, I'm picking up that this is somebody I'm speaking specifically to that really doesn't know that this has happened, that they are actually indeed moving into a higher frequency. It's just that they have made some decisions in their life to do things a little differently, to learn from their lessons, to do things better. It's kind of like when you know better, you do better. And they're just being practical about it. It's like I don't want to repeat these same mistakes and I don't want to keep you know, doing the same stuff and hoping to get a different result. They're literally just using their practical logic. Like, okay, it makes sense for me to change things and switch things up. But what you don't understand is as a result of you making that decision, you've literally you've been activated and you are elevating into a higher frequency and a higher vibration on the spiritual level that is going to call in a whole bunch of new gifts. Okay. Yay. So that's the energy I'm picking up. And that's what makes this message interesting and different because I'm used to speaking to those who are intuitive like me and have an understanding of some things. Okay. But I'm really picking up an energy that this is someone, it doesn't have to apply to you, but the spiritual activation can apply to you. Okay. So I'm just going to preface that. But the energy that I'm picking up and specifically like referencing right now is somebody that really is not fully aware of their spiritual gifts. And this whole activation has thrown them for a loop. They literally are just living life and they have made the practical decision to do better. Okay. So if you're watching this video, kudos to you because you're really unlocking a whole new level of spiritual blessings upon yourself that you can't even fathom right now. You don't even know what you've done. And it's an amazing thing. All right. So let me get into the channel. Now, the word city came to me. So city may be relevant. This may apply to somebody that lives in a big city. And that's very general. That's very, I'm a big city gal, born and raised myself. So that resonates with me. You could be born and raised in a big city. You could live in a big city. Take it how it resonates. All right. The word completion also came to me, and this is significant because, like I said, that activation is coming to a close. There's a completion of something, something that you've released, something that you've closed out, something that you've let go, something that you've terminated, okay, in your life that is allowing you to catapult forward and ascend into a higher frequency that you may be oblivious as to what is happening. Now, as a result of this change and this spiritual shift, you are feeling a little off. You're feeling disoriented and you're also operating in an emotional space. Okay. So I'm going to expand on that. There's a very clear message from spirit on this. So this particular person, you are feeling a little disoriented and you are right now in a space where you are lacking a lot of clarity and you kind of like begging for it, like you really really want it because this space is new to you and you really don't quite understand. It doesn't register exactly why you're feeling so fuzzy and so grainy. I'm picking up that someone that I'm speaking to right now is actually similar to me, so I can resonate with this, where you're by nature a very logical person. You're an analytical thinker. You're a very practical person. Okay. And that's why you're partially oblivious to this spiritual activation that is taking place. So, oh, the irony of it. And that's where this inner clarity card, I pulled this card, inner clarity, from the affirmation deck. The answers I seek are found within me. I trust my ability to access them at the right time. So let's talk about this real quick. That inner clarity, that was actually one of the words that came to me from spirit. And that inner clarity is coming because what's happening is that your integration is coming to a close. Okay. So that clarity that you're so desperately seeking and needing, it is going to come. It's going to come pretty soon. Um, Also, I was looking at some of the imagery that stood out to me on both of these cards. The other one is source energy. Okay. I, the boundless source of all creation, flow through you as a river of light, raising your vibration to the frequency of divine oneness. Okay. And this speaks to what I just mentioned, where you are literally elevating to a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And you really don't understand what's happening. All right. But this card supports and affirms that you're moving to a higher vibration. Now, looking at some of the imagery on this, water is very significant. So you see water in both of these cards in the background. That's because you're going through an emotional roller coaster right now. You all over the place. And part of that is because, yeah, you're lacking that clarity, but you're in your feelings about some stuff because you're so used to owning the room, owning the situation, you're in the driver's seat a lot of the time. And this is throwing you for a loop. It's taking you out of your comfort zone because you are used to having answers. Okay? So, water is significant. And this leads me to a vision, like a waterfall. I had a vision of a waterfall. And you know how the waterfall is kind of like a rapid, it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on in a waterfall as opposed to just like a calm um river bend. But here's the thing with that, I'm getting visions of both. And so you have kind of this calm, serene, peaceful water in the background, but that is kind of the calm after the storm, not before. So you are like in this chaotic period internally, feeling confused, you're a little emotional and all over the place when you're used to being in control of your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And it got you feeling some type of way. But like I said, that inner clarity is coming and you will move to calmer waters. Okay. You'll move to calmer waters. Now, this may be significant for somebody either through cultural reference or the character resonates with you or the movie itself. Um, Moana came to me. And then also Pocahontas, both of them Disney. I'm a Disney gal. I resonate with Pocahontas for sure. Just around the river bend, I look once more. I love that song. Um, Water, nature, is significant. It's significant. Being at one with source. All of creation is around you. All is connected. So I really think that is super significant, from a cultural standpoint, from somebody that's viewing this video. Um, and I kind of feel it's a little representative in some of the emblems that these illustrations are wearing as well. So that's just a takeaway for y'all. Now I'm gonna talk about this inner clarity. All right. Look at these because I'm talking about the imagery. You see these mounds in the back, these mounds or structures in the back. Mounds came to me. And so I was reflecting on these mounds. They caught my attention and I noticed these on either side of the centerpiece of these cards. And so this is where spirit kind of kicked in overdrive. It's like, listen, you're making things bigger than what they are in layman's terms. I'm not going to get philosophical about that. You're making things bigger than what they are in your head. Okay. Don't be in your head. The mounds in these pictures are representative of the mountains that you see things as mountains, right? Like you have the mounds of, and I had a vision of somebody trying to climb over mounds. You're trying to climb over like mounds or obstacles that you feel are in your way because you're lacking this clarity and visibility of things. When in actuality, let me tell you something. Spirit made it very clear to me that you already you already crossed over them. You already crawled over those mounds and you're on the other side. You're already there. But because you don't know what's happening from a spiritual, you're still stuck in your logic. You don't understand that you're already on the other side and you're still in your head. All of that stuff was already taken care of during this last spiritual activation period. You already overcame that stuff. And as you're integrating, you're shedding a lot of that stuff. You let that stuff go. Like I said in some of the other videos, it's just some leftover residue. It's you separating. You still are separating from your old as you're stepping into the new because you're still going into this higher frequency. Imagine like you on a real slow elevator. Okay. Well, all elevators kind of feel slow, in my opinion, but you're on an elevator and you're just watching the numbers go up as you're going up to the penthouse, as you're going up to the top floor. It's taking a little while because that building is like 70 floors high. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a good illustration on what you're experiencing right now. Okay. But you already on the other side. Stop creating mountains where there's an anthill. You've already overcome that. Okay. So the other thing is you are so desperate for clarity. You're begging for guidance. You're begging for guidance and clarity on what to do next, where you're supposed to go, what's to come. Okay, right? This is your logical brain wanting to have answers. This is your logical brain needing to know the plan. And this isn't what that's about. Okay, like I said, I done been through this. All right. So I'm not, I speak what I know. And Spirit made it very clear that you are asking for guidance and permission. And this is kind of where this card comes in again, inner clarity. The answers are already within you, because remember those mounds that I'm talking about that you're creating within your mind? You're creating these mounds around you when you've already climbed over, you've conquered those mounds, and you're already on the other side. Okay? Same thing with this asking for clarity, asking for guidance. The answers are already within you, but you want to know the A to the Z. That's not what this process is meant for. This is not the purpose of this process. You know what I'm saying? You are getting bits and pieces of inner knowing that you don't understand just yet, that you need to pay attention to them. You have the answers already within you. You have an inner knowing, but you're so busy focused on your logic that you're ignoring what your spirit is telling you. So I'm giving you that clarification point. You're asking, I'm gonna say this again, you're asking for permission and guidance, and Spirit said this permission was already granted. Permission was already granted. And so you will know what that means for you. Okay? Permission has already been granted, and you have an inner knowing, but you're so busy questioning the process and second guessing yourself because you don't know what's going on, that you're not looking within. This video is to let you know you got to release control and let go of your high reliance on logic and start looking within. You know, you got the answers within. Don't ignore it. Trust your gut. The last thing that I want to touch on is, you see this little rock right here? I'm going to call that a little mound, a pebble stone, okay? A river rock. So I find this whole message quite inspirational, but amusing at the same time, because I resonate with it 1,000%. And I have gone through this process as well, as I have had to let go of my ego and relinquish the need to know everything, the need to have all the answers, because I've been that person for so long. And you simply, as you're elevating on a higher frequency, the reliance on practicality and logic has to be balanced with your knowledge within, with your inner knowing. There has to be balance. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's a whole nother conversation. Now, these little mounds here, little things are happening in your life right now. Okay. I'm going to be specific and targeted about this. There are situations that are popping up, inconveniences that are, popping up. Okay. And you are seeing you're making these bigger than what they really are at the end of the day, because you're still stuck in your head. You're operating from a logic place, and things aren't going according to plan. Things aren't going according to the vision of how your 3D mind thinks that they need to go, how they need to function. But this is based on all this societal programming that you are operating within, the things that you feel you can control because you have been in this space for so long. But what you're going through now ain't that. That's a skill set that is not required in this exercise. Okay. It is to be leveraged in tandem and in balance with your inner knowing. Okay. And so your mind, your brain that's still probably operating in like survival mode, protection mode. Okay. You're releasing that. You're shedding that. Okay. You've made some decisions. You want to do better. This is a part of the process. These little situations, these little inconveniences, things that aren't going right, you're seeing them as setbacks. Okay. But they're not setbacks at all. Spirit made it very clear to me that, what's the word? They use them, the exact word that Spirit sent to me was stepping stones. Okay. So these things that you're perceiving as setbacks, nuisances, inconveniences, they are not setbacks at all. These are happening on purpose because they are stepping stones to get you where you need to go. Okay. They are stepping stones on your path of elevation to this higher frequency. There's obviously some things that you need to work on to let go of the need to control. Okay. And this is what your spirit team is actively working on. Okay. They working on you because I don't know, you just, there's some things that haven't quite registered yet. And I'm really, praying that this message finds the people that it needs to reach and that they watch this video all the way through, because I'm amused on the inside, because like I said, I've gone through this process and it's not fun. But at the end of the day, once you're tapped in, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful thing. So stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Your clarity is coming and you're going to get what you are working towards. You're going to get what you are working towards. Okay. You're on the right path and you made those decisions to let go, to shift, to change how you're doing things for a reason. Spirit planted that on your heart. Spirit planted that on your heart. It was planted on your heart for a reason, because there's more, there's greater, and they want to help you get there. So they're slowly positioning you in the background, even though you haven't really acknowledged that yet, or you don't understand that yet. And like I said, I'm speaking to a specific person in this channel, but this doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't apply to someone who is already in tune, okay? That has a greater understanding of the spiritual ascension that they're going on. This really just serves as a reminder to you to be kind to yourself, to be gentle with yourself during this period, to know and understand that your spirit team is working with you at this time, every step of the way. You are elevating, and I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. You are elevating. Yes. Yes. Great stuff. I want to sing. I want to sing to you. I want to sing. Amen. Okay. Before I go off on a tangent. Anyway, y'all be blessed. Until next message. Love and peace, y'all. And I'm just smiling because I'm happy for you. I just can't stop smiling. I just can't stop smiling because I know you're going to be smiling too. You're going to be smiling really soon. There's a blessing on the horizon. There's going to be something wonderful that comes your way, and it's going to surprise you. Amen. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Peace, y'all.